farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Cody.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're here today to talk about cottagecore games.
I was going to say whatever they want.
And whatever you guys are asking us. Woo!
Woo! It's finally, after much time and demand and, well, me pushing Al to do it, we're doing the mailbag episode. I've been really kind of wanting to get more emails and questions in, because I think they're pretty fun on other podcasts I listen to. So, we have condensed all the ones we had into one episode for now. I don't know if we'll do this again or drip feed them later, like the one Johnny and I did a while back. But that's the plan for today, along with your usual news and whatnot.
As always, we would like you to know that transcripts are available in the show notes and on the website, harvestseason.club. So if you would like a copy of the transcripts, that is where you can find them.
Yeah, there we go. So let's just dive right on in. Cody, what have you been up to?
I was going to say, we're not going to dive in. Before our main topic, we have news. And before that, I have been up to Hollow Knight. I have beaten? Is beaten a word? Like, is that an accurate?
Beaten, yes. Beaten, yeah.
But is it like an accurate use of that word? I don't even know.
I'm going to guess yes. That's what I'd say.
There's like 3 bosses that you're supposed to defeat, and then you can basically beat the game. I've done the 3, so I just need to like go do the last boss, and I am putting it off because yeah, I don't know, I just want to do I'm the kind of person where I'm like, I want to do everything and then beat the game.
There is a lot to do in Hollow Knight.
There really is.
Everything is a lot.
Also, if I beat the other part of the game, like if I beat that boss, then it'll give me a percentage like on the loading screen. So then I can see how much left I still have. I probably I've put like over 100 and some odd hours into that game.
So what, you're maybe 50% there?
Yeah, exactly. I was not even joking. I was about to say, I think I'm about 50%. I think like, I'm pretty sure that there are whole areas that I haven't discovered yet.
That's correct, right? Like, the real kicker is the DLC's just in there, right? There's no DLC menu, no DLC area.
Correct.
So you go above 100%. That's the real killer right there.
You go up to 112. So yeah, I don't... and I've already encountered some of the DLC areas. So that's crazy. But yeah, so I've been playing that. And then with my partner, I've been playing Overcooked 2.
Yeah.
We are on like the 5th area, the 5th direction, I guess. I don't know. So we're doing that. And I'm really enjoying that. I think he is enjoying it a little less than I am. Like I could play it for like 8 hours straight, like many hours straight. And after like an hour or 2, he's like, okay, I'm done. I think it hurts his eyes because like my TV is so far away from
But still, like, that game's just amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it in a minute. I know there's all-you-can-eat edition. Like, I assume they've just been putting more and more in that. I need to get in, check that out.
That sounds amazing. Like, it just keeps going.
Yeah, so the initial thing, from what I remember, is that they were basically putting both games together in the all-you-can-eat edition, I think they called it, right? And it was, like, all the Overcooked 1 in the new engine, so, like, everything's revamped.
Wow.
And it's nice, and I'm pretty sure, like, their goal was, like, okay, this is going to be our platform or whatever. Now we're just going to keep adding levels and stuff here.
Yeah.
So, because, I mean, yeah, that's the kind of game where you can just give me more forever, right?
Yep.
Let them get old.
Yeah, so. Instead of this, like, 10 minutes or, like, 6 minutes or whatever to beat and to try and get a certain score, just, like, keep her going, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been doing research, so...
Yeah.
Woo.
What have you been researching? What have you discovered?
So I'm trying to finish a project from last year. So in my research, like in some type of ecology, like, so mine is entomology, but if you're looking at ecology of anything, usually you have a season where your study species is active and then you're collecting them, surveying them, doing all of that. And then when they're no longer active, that is when you will kind of like identify and run your analyses. And then after that, that's when you'll write. So I'm in the writing season now. But I actually like, I have new fieldwork to start up here in a couple weeks. And so it's like, I'm like really trying to get the old stuff done because,
Sure.
I mean, they can overlap. It's not a huge deal, but it just basically pushes my ability to do the new stuff like later into the year. And then everything kind of gets behind, excuse me. So, yeah, this year I'm looking at insect communities in the canopy versus the understory, and then on edge versus forest interior habitats. So, like, think of like a meadow habitat versus like in the middle of a forest, and trying to see like how that changes. So,
Okay.
throughout the year.
Okay. That's neat. Also very in line with the Hollow Knight stuff.
Yeah, true. What about you, Kev? What have you been up to?
I have been up to. So I talked about it last week on my mad solo episode. I made the unfortunate mistake of seeing there was a Let's Build a Zoo update, and so that game has its meaty hooks back into me. That's just one of those games where you can just pick up and just go for it until you burn out. Go with it until you burn out. And yeah, so that's the primary gaming stuff, not and just the usual. And
Yeah, are you still
what I
playing
do,
Marble Snap?
I am. That game's in a good place right now. They've made a lot of updates recently, and it's good and fresh, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm. What I do want to talk about though, because that's all same old, same old. I watched a good number of movies actually in the past week.
Okay.
So last weekend, I don't know why or how, but my siblings and I, we just said, you know what, we're just gonna marathon every Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Those are good movies. Yep, yep.
So, uh, okay, like the first one is a timeless classic. Like it still holds up. Like, dang, oh man, that movie is a master, like just a master class in set design and costume design. Oh, everyone looks so good. The second one, well, have you seen them all, Cody? Before I
Yes,
get
yes,
into
I
you can,
have.
okay,
Yep.
you have, okay. I had only seen the first three until last weekend. Second one, well, I mean, second and third one, I think everyone knows. Like, it goes off the rails, it gets crazy. The one thing I will say, that CGI still holds up really well. Davy Jones looks really, really good. Considering it was like early 2000s.
I didn't realize it was CG. Oh, Davy Jones. Sorry.
Yes.
You said Davy Jones and my brain thought Johnny Depp, and I was like, that's his face.
Johnny Depp's CGI in real life too.
Poor dude. Yeah, but yeah, no. Davy Jones, that was so good. Such a good story too.
I
Nah?
I liked it. Like the second one was good, and then the third one just went place. Like I don't know. I'm meh on the third one. But I mean, I think most people have seen the first three at least because that was a whole trilogy and they link together. What I will talk about though is the fourth and fifth ones. Like I said, I'd never seen them before. The fourth one, man, I really liked that one. I liked it better than the third. Maybe on par with the second. I don't know if it's as good as the first. It feels like they went back to their roots of just pirate adventures, and more importantly, it has Penelope Cruz, and she's absolutely incredible in everything I've ever seen with her in it. It has Ian McShane, what's the member? Blackbeard.
Oh, I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Ian McShane, that's what it is. Yeah. He's a fantastic actor. He's in the John Wick movie. Seen that. He's great in that too. And he did great as Blackbeard. Yeah. Oh man, that fourth movie is just so good. Penelope Cruz is in it. That's all I need. And then the fifth one. Oh man. Okay, what are your thoughts on the fifth one?
I think I need to look at fifth.
That's
Dead Men Tell
Dead
No
Men Tell No
Tales.
Tales. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, this says the one that has that guy, Javier Bardem as.
Yeah.
Gosh, who was he in that?
He was the villain. He was Captain Salazar. He was a ghost pirate. Yeah.
Oh, and it has Will's child.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it should. The fact that I forgot about this.
There you go.
Should tell you.
That's fine.
About
That's
how
fine.
I feel.
Oh, that one was a bit of a disaster in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it felt like they tried to redo the first one because they have the kids, or the kid of
Yeah.
Will and Elizabeth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this other new girl that's in there, and they're just trying to redo it. It feels like, but it's the chemistry's just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this felt like the most phoning it in Johnny Depp did as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think they just focused on him less, which I don't know if was for better or worse. I don't know, just all over the place. Best part was gosh, what's his name? Jeffrey Rush, Barbosa, because he's
Yeah.
fantastic in all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So he was cool, but that was kind of it. The thing after watching all 5 movies, the key takeaway is the more that movie is about actually like pirates and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. The more it's about weird sea magic, that's not as good. So they should just keep to more pirate stories and whatnot. Javier Bardem was cool as Captain
Mm-hmm.
Salazar. He has a beautiful name. I love his accent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, his the villains were okay written. They were The part that got me, the part that knew would define the movie for me were the zombie sharks.
Yeah.
Jumping the zombie sharks. Oh my goodness.
I just remember I'm Googling him because like the pictures of Salazar because I loved like his cracked face.
Yeah, it was a good design.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I do remember really enjoying that.
Yeah. No, he was good, right? But like I think the plot was just kind of weird, but I think the character was cool.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, zombie sharks was a bit more than over the top, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there were some high points in that movie, but overall, fourth one was really good though. You have Barbosa and
I
Jack.
didn't like I guess like the story of the mermaid in the fourth one made me really sad.
Yeah, the mermaid wasn't. I mean, like, yeah, no, I get you, but you're supposed to feel that, I think, right? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. It was good enough. It was a little over the top in places too, but overall, yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's my crash course in the 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Now that I've seen them all. And one other movie that I just watched just yesterday, no, Friday, whatever, 2 days ago. Suzume. Have you heard of this?
I have not.
Okay. Have you heard of Your Name or Weathering with You?
Nope.
Okay. Oh boy.
Some
Okay. They
customers
are
or not customers, some listeners are screaming right now.
maybe
So
internally. Well, I don't blame you because they're anime films. Let's be clear, right? They're
I mean
not
I
Studio
like
Ghibli.
anime.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just saying they're not. It's a little more niche. It doesn't get the big, upfront
Yeah.
marketing that a bunch of other films get,
True.
right?
True.
So that I get it why it might have missed. You might have missed them. The name of this director.
No worries.
Okay, Makoto Shinkai is he's the director, and
Mm-hmm.
this is his third movie. They're not a trilogy, and like their plots are related, but they're a set, if you will, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like 3 movies, they go together even though they're not sequels or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I haven't seen Your Name, to be fair, so people blast me for that. But Weathering with You is about a magical girl who can control the weather, but it like costs her. She only has a limited amount of time to live, or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
because of this ability. They're all kind of like disaster-esque movies, but they're also kind of magical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're really well done. Uh, this movie, Suzume, which just released recently, it so this one's interesting because there's doors around Japan and these giant magical worms, like I'm talking like colossal,
Mm-hmm.
giant sky-sized worms, and when they crash, they come out of the doors and they land on the ground. An earthquake happens in Japan.
Mm.
Nobody can see the worms, but except for a hand, like 2 people in the story, and they have to go around, find these doors, and close them. Um, so yeah, so that's the plot of the story, but also one of the guys gets turned into a chair. It's really goofy but cute. He's like a little toddler's chair.
Oh, I was gonna say you
Um,
gotta describe what kind of chair because there's a lot of
yeah,
different
yeah,
kinds of
yeah.
chair.
It actually belongs. So the lead, Suzume, that's her name. That's the protagonist's name. She has this childhood chair as a memento from her mom, and because of magical hijinks, the other dude, who's the deuteragonist gets his body transformed into this chair, but he can walk around and talk and stuff. Yeah, like these movies are Ghibli-esque. They're not as maybe so Ghibli is almost a little bit more Disney-like. These are a little less Disney-like, but it has that same niche of wonder and whimsy, right? But they also hit, I think, a more emotional tone. Especially towards the end, towards the latter end of the movies. There's some deep stuff in there. But anyways, I'm trying to dance around, too many details because spoilers and whatnot. But I really recommend people watch them. They're really good.
What are they on?
That's a good question.
Like, how did
Suzume
you?
is in theaters. I know that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's already. Let's see, Your Name. Like, yeah, you can find them all. You can just find out YouTube, Apple TV, Google Play. If you watch that with some friends. Yeah, same thing like that. You can just Google HBO Max. There you go. That's where you can watch
Okay.
Weathering with You. Yeah.
Yep, I have
There's
that.
different places though. But yeah, I just highly recommend them. If you like Ghibli films, you'll probably like these because they're anime films and the animation is just as quality and beautiful. And there's of course the whole sub versus dub debate. I can't remember if Suzume watched dubbed. I can't remember if I watched Weathering with You dubbed or sub. I mean, I'm partial to both. I don't have any preference.
Yeah.
But dub was...
My only thing with subbed is that I, like with my ADHD, if I am just watching something, like if I'm just sitting and watching something, my ADHD is going wild. So I like to, if I'm watching something, I love to like knit or crochet or like be doing something with my hands at the same time. And I can't do that when it's subbed.
Sure.
So I generally like the dub person.
Okay. Well, there you go. You're in luck because the dub was excellent in my opinion.
Sweet.
Yep. So.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the news.
Yes. That's enough from our weeks.
Woo. So, first bit of news, Kev, you're so excited.
Yes, I am. Mineko! We have a date. Finally.
Yeah, so part of the indie world that just happened, they announced the release date of Mineko's Night Market. And they also released like a cute little trailer that you can watch that kind of explains the lore of the area. And what's going on in this area, and kind of, I don't know, shows a little bit of other cute things, and you getting ready for the night market. So, but this is your baby, so tell me, how do you feel?
For people who may not know, this was on my most anticipated game for the next year, 2 years running.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been such a long time. I mean, what is there to say about Mineko? Like, you're farming, but you're gonna be selling things at a magical night market. The farming is also magical. You farm cats.
You ride cats.
Yes, the art is just gorgeous. That's really what sells me about it. I just can't wait for this game. There's a big cat. I don't care. I don't care. I just
oh my goodness. Game. Yeah, so the new trailer showed you riding cats like in like a race, and they run so cute. It's just pure. It's wholesome as heck. It also showed you like cutting, what was it? Like a tulip? Like you were like cutting a plant up to get ready for the market. Like I'm assuming you like make a bouquet out of that.
Yeah.
And then it also showed you like stitching something, which had me and my craftiness. I was like, ooh. Because that was cool, like sewing something. I guess it's not stitching something, but yeah, cute little gameplay trailer, gameplay / lore trailer. So, and now
just look at the trailer.
See, that's what, 5 months away.
156 days as of this recording.
Well, every episode now you have to say how many days there are.
Absolutely. Mineko Watch is now a thing. Hashtag Mineko Watch.
Oh my goodness.
Why are the FBI agents chasing her? Why is Mineko dressed like a cat in one scene? I don't know. I don't care. I just want to find out when I play.
You're gonna find out. There's a day now. There's a date.
Man, those cat races look real good.
They do. They really do.
Go so fast. All right, that's all that matters from this episode. Thank you all for listening.
No, I mean the next time, or the next thing on here is in the news is My Time at Sandrock. Also has a little bit of a new trailer. So again, this is by the same people who did My Time at Portia.
I see. Yes,
but Sandrock is a desert town, and you turn a rundown workshop into a well-oiled facility is what you're doing. So if you enjoyed My Time at Portia, which I know some listeners did, then this new game, My Time at Sandrock, is coming to Switch, quote unquote, summer 2023. So sometime in the next few months. Or I guess it could be like 6 months because they could push it to like the end of summer.
Yes. Even summer is loose. Al has it summer in quotation marks.
Yeah, in quotation marks. He's like,
and that is the correct attitude.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't play My Time at Porsche's.
Yeah, I didn't either. And so I'm pretty meh about it. So yeah, that's a thing
going on. Look at the trailer. There's a first-person shooter portion of this trailer.
Yeah,
that's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
speaking of a lot going on, Ooblets.
There is a lot going on with that one.
There is. And there's a new spring event. And so there's a spring update that's just happening now. In that update, there is a minimum time ooblet. Limited time. So like it's only available for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. The bunny, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is. But yeah, there's one that's limited. There's another new one that you can get that's not that one. There's these glimmy globes, which look like little snow globes to me.
Yeah, they do. They're
like
cute.
little snow globes. They're like a little ship in a bottle that you can design and make, and those are really cute. I know that there were some people I'm trying to go into. There was recently some Ooblets talk in Slack. Kat in Slack, shout out to Kat, said that
it's one of our favorites.
True. That they are playing Ooblets right now. And they said, quote, "I really didn't think I'd like it, but I'm glad I gave it a try." So
yeah, oddly enough, this trailer is, I think, the one that's intrigued me the most.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Something about the little bottles, the little snow globe bottles. Something about it is real cute.
That looked really cute to me too. Yeah.
We're getting that bunny Tatterflop, it's called.
Yeah, Tatterflop seed. Maybe Taterflop?
Oh, that'd be so good if it was. I thought
So, yeah. If you are into Ooblets or if you want to try it out, now's a good time. Not only from our mouth, but from our listeners' mouth as well.
Yeah. It's until the spring event is going until the end of May 31st. Oh my goodness. There are 459 variations of Glimmy globes, so you probably shouldn't try to craft them all. Ellipses. Unless.
Challenge
okay,
accepted.
That is definitely Taterflop. Yeah, there you go. Ooblets for you Ooblets people.
Sunhaven. Sorry. Update 101, and in here I don't know if you wrote this or if Al wrote this.
No, that was Al. That wasn't me. I thought it was you who wrote it.
There's a parenthetical here, something in parentheses that says, quote, "Good thing Al isn't on this episode to complain about the use of the word patch here." So Al wrote Update 101, but they call it Patch 101. I think it's because like a patch is like a bug fixer. It's not. They're different. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard his rant about update versus patch.
Somewhere out in Scotland, Al just felt his eyebrow twitch for some reason. He's not sure why.
He should do a mini episode. Al, you should do like a greenhouse like mini episode that's like a Rants with Al version.
Oh, it's going to be inserted right here.
No, I want it to be its own content of update versus patch. So Sunhaven, this update 1.1 has some new story elements to it. It has some added character customization, like you can now become a couple different, like, not well, I guess it's races, like a naga or like a dragon person or something like that. There's also more translation, so it's available in more languages, which is great. And there's improved controller support. So they have had controller support, but apparently there was some feedback that they received that it wasn't as good as it could be, and so they've improved it. So all of that has happened in this, which I guess, like, for them to call it a patch, like, maybe it is a patch. No, but there's a new story. Which isn't a patch, that's an update. Al, I need a mini episode about this. because like the improved controller support and like more languages, like, to me that's a patch. But when you're adding new content, like the new story and the character customization, like that is an update. So anyway, it is currently out now, and it is on sale just for $20. I think it's like 20% off or something. It's normally like $25.
But we're still in the beta.
I believe, yeah. Well, no, because it's out. It's 1.1 now.
No, wait. Oh, yes. No, okay, I was the patch was in the beta, and now it is out. Yes.
The update was.
Yes, everything is out. Nothing is in beta anymore. End of the bottom line. Okay. I have a question for you, Cody.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Would you call 1.6 Stardew a patch or an update?
So it's funny because thinking about... Oh, okay. I was going to say, thinking about what I think the difference between a patch and an update is, like, I think an update has to have, like, more content. And it sounds like the changes in the 1.6 update is, like, modding changes. But Concerned Ape does say that there is also content. So it looks like there is more dialogue coming for different characters. So I don't know if it's like that the dialogue has changed, or maybe like it's just updated in certain parts of the game, or it's just like a completely new cutscene or something. I don't know. We don't have a ton of information.
Concerned Ape is a man of mystery.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through the Twitter thread. And the first comment is, I crave new info about Haunted Chocolatier. Anything you can tell us? And his Concerned Ape's response is that the town is on the water and there are... Oh, docks. I thought it said rocks. Okay, never mind. But still. Yeah, now there's about Stardew. I know most people are for Haunted Chocolatier, but this means Stardew isn't dead. That's interesting.
What?
Stardew isn't dead. That's interesting. It's
not gonna ever die.
Well, I mean, really? You think he's gonna... I mean, like, from his side, right? Like, I know people will play it forever and ever and ever, but do you think he's gonna keep updating it forever and ever and ever?
Yeah. I don't know why not.
All right.
Wow, I was Googling Concerned Ape because I realized that we always say he, but I've actually never seen their pronouns anywhere. It is a guy, and his name is Eric Barone. And, like, I didn't know that there was actually, like, a name associated with this human, like, that we know of, you know, like.
No, I'm sure there is, but
I didn't know if it was like a secret. So the next here we have a couple games that are new. So first is Go-Go Town. The Steam blurb is quote, plan, build, prosper.
Shamark?
It literally has a question mark.
Yes.
As mayor, it is up to you to breathe life back into this run-down town. Construct shops, hire staff, automate deliveries with couriers, and attract tourists to town, all while managing infrastructure and avoiding catastrophes. Who said being mayor was going to be easy? I'm trying to remember what the graphics are. Kind of Animal Crossing-ish.
They are. Yeah, that's a good comparison point. But there's something a little more,
cartoony almost.
Yes,
even.
Cartoony. That's a good... Well, yes, it has to be cartoony because there are aliens and monkeys in this game as well.
I was going to say
I actually like the art style. Appeals. I like the look of the game. Like, you're building up a town. This is all appealing. And the fact that we got aliens landing and mummies running around town. I'm intrigued now. This Go-Go Town has caught my attention. State or something? No,
TV. No, they're just to be announced. I didn't see the mummies.
It's at the very end of the trailer.
Oh, okay. I
Like
saw
they're not even front and center. They're just walking around the streets.
Oh, yep. You right. I see it. It's just there.
I don't know why. There's also robots, like little square
Yeah.
robots.
That was my thing. It says like avoid catastrophes, and I was like, I wonder if that like the aliens are a catastrophe because they just come out of their little UFO and they're just coming at you. I don't know if they like wreak havoc on your town.
Well, in Al's notes, it says catastrophes include
Oh,
aliens.
I
I
wrote-
don't know if that's
I
actually
wrote
from
that.
him or not. But you wrote that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it looks like. It's a catastrophe, but they could just be visitors as well. Who knows? But yeah, Go-Go Town. So that's something to be aware of on the horizon. Next is Poglings.
Boy, what a name! That,
Yeah.
like, Pogs were originally those little like token coin things from the 80s and 90s. I used to collect some Pokemon ones in Mexico by the kid.
Wow. Yeah,
but-
I played with Pogs.
Yeah.
My own like I had some. They were cool for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not that. This is completely
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I was trying to say, my point was that the word Pog has been ruined forever and ever thanks to Twitch.
Yeah, so, quote, Poglings is a cute pet simulation creature collecting adventure. Evolve, breed, and race cute, mysterious creatures known as Poglings. Stake claim to your island, grow your nest, and establish yourself as the best Pogling hatcher the Wild Vine Islands has ever seen. I mean, I don't love the art style.
No, it's too saccharine.
I don't know.
It looks like a fake game or movie you'd see in a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not. Some people like. I feel like if you like the games like Merge Dragons or Merge but it's not a merging game, so I don't know. It's got the same like art style to me. Like the little creatures look like little Merge Dragon creatures. When I first saw it, it also reminded me of Neopets.
Yeah.
Which it is also not. It is not Neopets. I mean, it kind of is because you creature collect and you.
Yeah, you kind of get the vibe.
But it's like if it was Neopets, but you only ever had one Neopet, one type, and you just.
Yeah, they're all coats of paint on that.
Mm-hmm. It just looks like it's just with coats of paint on the same one. Maybe so. I mean, it is in Kickstarter, so benefit of the doubt. Like maybe they were just showing what they have now.
I was about to say this is also probably like 90% FMV and not actually gameplay. So, yeah, who knows what it'll actually. End up being.
So I looked it up.
Moly, the gold.
I know.
Go ahead.
I wrote this. I looked at the Kickstarter, and the goal was just 40K. It is already at 311K thousand. It's already way over the goal. But it actually is still going. The Kickstarter is still going until May 11th. So if you like these little creature collecting pet simulation games, maybe give it a look.
Wait, hold the phone. Chadtronic is the creator?
I don't know.
He's a YouTuber.
Oh.
I don't follow him, but I'm familiar with the name.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy. Huh. No wonder it blew the goal. Like, he has a following. I'll be darned. Okay. That's interesting. Anyway, sorry. Getting sidetracked by all the... Wow, there's a lot. I love seeing what the extra stuff in the Kickstarters. You can get a plushie and all sorts of things. Yeah, you can design some Poglings if you donate. Now, the goals aren't, or the donation levels aren't unreasonable. Like, the highest is 1/6.
Yeah.
Not that bad, to be quite frank. Anyways, but so overall, this is interesting because now that I know that Chadtronic, who's an established name, is on it, like, okay, this doesn't feel like as big a risk anymore. Big asterisk, like, of course it could, right? Like everything a Kickstarter, very, very risky.
Oh, they've unlocked the cooking system.
But I'm interested to see how this work plays out now. Like you said, overall though, like the art style, I'm not the biggest fan of. The fact that they're all the same creatures, like, I don't know.
It might change. Like, they might get like more creatures eventually. It is just like that was my thing. Like, looking at it, I was like, the base is the same thing. It's like I don't know. I would have liked if there were other things. So anyway.
Ooh. Oh wait, no, there are expensive ones. There's a 5,000 donation goal. I thought that was the big. Oh gosh, I was looking to see how much I could donate to get a bee and
Meow.
pogling in there.
It says $160 or more. A bee
Yeah.
pogling. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Poglings. Oh, it's coming to Steam and Switch. Switch has been, there's already Switch packaging. Looks like physical might come out. And they'll probably do well. You know what game will definitely do well? I say this because
Paleopines.
Spencer and I are already ordering 5 copies each. Okay, so I saw this first on a thread on our other Slack. Our friend Spencer, who's been on the show, he posted the link to this, and in that thread, my one reaction was just 2 words: "Oh no!"
Like, oh no, your money?
Yes, oh no, my money. Oh no, Paleopines.
Paleopine.
Okay, when I tell you dinosaur farming, that can mean a number of different things. But here, the dinosaurs help you farm in this, and that's all I've ever wanted. You ride your Triceratops, and they help you sow your and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
It's kind of it's got there's so many different parts of it. So you have a dino pal, Lucky, and you've had them since they were an egg, and you're trying to find other. So it looks like she's a Parasaurolophus. So you're trying to find other ones of those, and you encounter Paleopines, and then you create a dinosaur sanctuary. So that kind of gives Zoo Tycoon feels, if you look at it.
Yeah.
Then you find and befriend other dinosaurs and bring them back to your haven. And then, dino ranching is what they call it, because that's what it is.
You're running down.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I mean, but also you farm with them. Because you need them. You use them to help. Well, not use. They help you farm. And you then feed them with the stuff that you farm.
So it's more humane than the Flintstones.
Yeah. I just loved it. When I wrote down somewhere, quests, dinosaur mounts, and cute big-eyed dinos. They have such big eyes, and it just makes them so cute.
The dinosaurs are very... Yeah, they're all, I would almost say, chibi proportion. Well, because I say that because there's a lot of ones that should be bigger, but we have feathered dinosaurs, controversial opinion or controversial topic, whether you pro or anti feathers, they're there.
I mean, it's not controversial. It's science.
No, I know it's science, but people don't like them.
Well, people can be wrong. That's okay.
Yes, I know. Look, I'm not against it. I just know people love their Jurassic Park dinosaurs.
Well.
Anyways, but it looks amazing. We don't have any dates now.
Yeah, there's no
comes
information.
out. It can come out on, well, no, not September 27th. Give me a few months after Mineko, then you can come out.
Yeah.
So excited. I love dinosaurs. So, I was a dinosaur kid. Absolutely. Right. That was my first thing.
Okay. As a human
before
being.
Pokemon. Yeah. Before Pokemon, dinosaurs were my thing. Absolutely. Jurassic Park is felon. So I'm just, this is the dream.
It's really cute.
Developers called Italic Pig. Thank you, Italic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all of our news.
Is that it? Yep, that is it. Okay.
Yep. So we'll move on to our main topic, which is the mailbag. And we can probably, I can answer a question that was already asked before. I'm going to move that to the top.
Okay, so, before we start, I just want to give a big note, or I just want to cover our bases here and say, first of all, thank you to everyone who's written in.
Yeah.
Second of all, I encourage all you listeners who haven't sent in, or even if you have sent another one in, you can do that through all our usual socials, the Slack, the Twitter, email, through the website, whatever. I'm just very excited to do this. But go ahead, Cody.
No, yeah, it's I've always loved this kind of stuff, and whenever I'm, the podcasts that I listen to that I'm a big fan of, having that listener support and listener content, kind of bringing the listeners in.
Yes.
And having them kind of be a part of the conversation, by leading what we say, it is so fun to do. And I remember some of the bigger podcasts that I've been on before, or that I've listen to before, like
Other than this?
when they say my name, like I'm like, oh, it's me, like that's me. I wrote in, like they said my name, you know. So
Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff.
I also like yeah, of course that, but I also like that the wide breadth of topics that we can cover here because like we're not asking you guys to ask about farming games or whatever.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Ask us total goblin nonsense questions. Tell us stories, whatever you want. I love the nonsense BS stories. That's some of my favorite stuff. Anyways, but yes, go ahead.
For sure. So the first question comes to us from Kat. Thank you, Kat. And this is a question that you and Johnny already answered on
some time ago.
The first
Terranil.
Oh yeah, Terranil. And so I'm just going to give my answer now. So the question is, what in your opinion makes a game a Stardew clone? And does that make you want to play it more or less? As in, what factors make the art style seem similar, the UI, the gameplay, the structure, etc.? Thank you, Kat. I would say, like, so in my opinion, the UI is a big thing. If the like inventory is pretty much the same as Stardew, like, and the menu system is very similar. Also the 2D modeling. So seeing, a very pixelated kind of simpler 2D side scrolling style game. If your little character is kind of like a little chibi character. And most things that I would say, like, for me, it is all aesthetic. Something could have the same mechanics as Stardew, but look completely different. And I don't think I'd call it a Stardew clone. So for me, most things that look kind of like Stardew, it just makes me want to play Stardew. So if it's something that, looks a lot like Stardew and has some of the similar mechanics, like, I will generally put it down and go play Stardew instead, because it just makes me want to play that. It depends on if the gameplay is fairly unique. So one example would be like Research Story. So it aesthetically kind of looks like a Stardew clone because it has the 2D modeling, the chibi characters. The UI looks pretty similar, but the gameplay is pretty different, and you're doing different things, and you're doing the research, and there's more detail about the world around you. So I think that's something that kind of is missing from Stardew. Yeah. Like, you forage, but you don't learn about the things that you're foraging. You just pick them up. But yeah, I would say to classify something as a Stardew clone, it would be, something that looks, aesthetically looks similar to Stardew.
Yeah. To read just a episode. For me, it's pretty much the visual style, the 2D pixelated. As someone who played like the Harvest Moon games prior to Stardew, right? Like, I think Stardew is still the Harvest Moon clone or whatever. Like, it's not necessarily what I link to it, but yeah, just that, because so many of the games we cover here, even some of the ones we enjoy, like Roots of Pacha, I'm still excited for, but it just has that 2D pixel style that feels very Stardew.
Yep. Okay, the next question is, what feature in farming games makes you groan?
Brandon.
This question comes from Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. What about you, Kev? Do you have anything off the top of your head here?
Yes. And, well, okay, I've been thinking about this because I doubted my own answer, right? Like,
okay.
So the number one thing that I knee-jerk groan to is seeing the relationships in a cottagecore game, right? And I've thought about it, and it's not necessarily against a relationship mechanic in itself. I don't have an issue with that. I just always, to me, it always looks more of a symptom than the problem, if you will. So anytime I see a game have relationship mechanics, I think or at least in the area of our internet game sphere here, the cottagecore area, like, I think they're often taking on too much. Like, a lot of these are smaller developers, right? And that just, I think, tacking on something that a game doesn't always need. I prefer other games. And again, I think, going back to the last question, I think it's because of a Stardew thing or Harvest Moon originally, right? Like, it all comes from there, and I get it. Like, it's kind of a hallmark of the genre almost at this point, but like, I just look at the practical development cycle of it. Like, I'd rather the resources have been spent somewhere else. So that's usually what I'm not always keen on. And it's, to be honest, I thought about it. It's not just even cottagecore. Some of my other games and series that I've enjoyed, Fire Emblem is a good one. They introduced relationship mechanics, and it was super fun and enjoyable, though, like one time they did, but they really leaned into it, and it started making me groan a little because they were just leaning so much into it. Again, because I enjoyed other things about that game and would have preferred more time spent on relationships. But again, nothing against the relationship mechanic in general. I participate in them. I enjoy the characters and stuff through them, and when they're done well, they're done well. But just usually makes me very apprehensive when I hear a game.
Yeah, it's usually one of the last things that I do in a game. Because it's just not my priority. And it usually doesn't add to the game.
Not usually, no, right? Like it has to be, yeah. Like I mean, yeah, it's a very hard thing to do for it to add to the game, right? Because your characters you have to be invested outside the mechanic, the relationship stuff, right? And that can happen. Wildflowers, I think, actually was very good at that because the plot is so character driven and whatnot. Like you get invested, that affects the relationship stuff. But like Stardew, the more I think about it, like, yeah, you don't do the relationship. You're not missing.
Yeah, exactly.
Without it, really.
The one time that I finished one, I won't say who the person that I ended up marrying was, but they ended up just living in my house and being a bum. And I was just like...
That could be more than one person.
I was like, this is bullcrap. Like... You're not doing anything. Like you do nothing. Like you just went from one location to my house and that was it. That's all that happened. So
I'm looking at the list. I don't know. It could be a number of people.
I can tell you who it is later, but
okay, that's the post-credits scene.
I will, yeah. Listeners, stay after the post-credits and I'll tell you.
Find out mine.
Yeah, so the feature that makes me groan is when some of the days, like the timing of the day is really fast. So I put non-real-time days. So for example, with Stardew, by the time like you wake up and do your stuff and then run all the way across the map to like go do something, suddenly it's like already noon. And it's just like, because as you're traveling, like time is just going at the same rate and it's really fast. And so you end up like wasting so much of your day doing like nothing, it feels like, or just, you know, taking care of your crop. So like a lot of the times in games when they have these day night cycles and when, especially when you have like the ones that after a certain time of the day, your character like passes out, which Harvest Moon does that. And then Stardew does that. Yeah. So it's like it hits a certain point of the day and you just start getting really, really sleepy and you like pass out. I'm like, no, let me stay awake forever. Like, let me not have to sleep. I don't know. I know that that's not realistic, but it makes me feel limited. And it makes me feel like I can't just play the game and enjoy the game. Like almost never in any of my Stardew runs have I like gone and talked to all of the people and like actually listened to what or read what they're saying, because I feel like it's a waste of time. I'm like, I have fish to catch. I have a community center to do. I have to go mine. I have to go do all of this stuff. And I could care less about your story. But if they had it so that the time either didn't matter or it was slower, I could enjoy that stuff a little bit more.
Wildflower, greatest farming game of all time. I think has elegant solution. One, they just straight up give you an option to slow down time. Most of the days. I think every farming or any game should take a note from that.
And I think that was something that, so Garden Paws did that as well. So that's a game that Bev and I covered. And that game does that as well, where you, after a certain time or something, or there's like after you've like done the tutorial or after I don't remember exactly when it happens in the game, but there's a point where it's like, would you like to slow things down? And I'm like, yes, because there's now an entirely different island that I want to go to. Yeah. And I have to walk my butt all the way over there. And so I don't want to have to waste so much of my time doing that. So yeah, I super appreciate that about games. So, Concerned Ape, Eric, I now know your name is Eric, listening to this, please add something like that and start it.
Coming in 1.6. Just you wait.
I'm gonna Google it. Maybe it actually already happens. Stardew Valley slow down time. Oh, it's a mod.
Well, of course it's a mod. Everything.
I don't want it as a mod.
No, I know.
I'm not a big mod person.
I'm not either. It'd be nice just to have it back.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, so the next question. I keep like playing with the thing in here.
Next.
Cats.
Oh dear.
I am messing up this document we're working on. Okay.
I'm watching it like real time.
Another question from Kat. Thank you, Kat. Kat is curious to know our first few farming or cottagecore games and when/how we got into the games. They say, I think a lot of people played Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing as kids, and also Stardew and Animal Crossing New Horizons got many people into the genre as adults. It's interesting to see how the popularity of these games has grown so exponentially. Yeah, so I will say, I'll just jump in. Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. It was my kind of introduction to this. Yep. So this was maybe when I was like 14, maybe a little younger than that. I don't know, somewhere around there, 12 to 14, somewhere around there. I got a GameCube, and I was playing the GameCube, and I didn't have a ton of games, but one of the games that I did have was Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. And then one of my friends got me, or my mom got me, or someone got me the Animal Crossing game, like the, original, the GameCube version. And so those were the two games that really got me into this genre. And to this day, like when spring starts hitting, like I get the urge to play these games again because it reminds me of that time in my life. When it was like not warm enough to go outside and play yet, but I couldn't, still play them. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to that. I never beat A Wonderful Life. I honestly cannot recall if I ever even married. Maybe I did. Maybe I married someone once. But it's...
I think the game forces...
Well, I don't know, like... The thing is, I didn't know if I'd like made it that far in the game. But I think I did. I mostly liked farming. I loved like that you have the plot, that like where your cows are, like the cow pasture. And you could go in there and like cut all the hay down.
Yeah. And
put your horse in there and stuff. So I just loved that. All of that part of the game, and the fact that it was 3D, like it just was like top of the line graphics at the time.
It was pretty mind blowing. Like rotate the camera in some areas, and like, oh my goodness. Yeah, and then I mean that Animal Crossing game was the one that didn't have the continuous, like there was a point I think that you had to like run into the next area. Like there was like a set, like it didn't show you the whole map all at once. It only showed you some of the map at once, and you had to like run between. I think I might be completely making that up. Yeah. So what got you into farming and cottagecore? Well, pretty much the same as you. Harvest Moon, Wonderful Life, and Animal Crossing. So I had the GameCube, and interestingly enough, both of these were Blockbuster rentals.
Yeah,
that was still around back then. And Blockbuster worked its magic. I rented it. You see if you like it. Boy, did I like both of those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually I was able to get them for birthday, Christmas. Pretty much the same as you. Animal Crossing, I mean, it's just a magical experience, but Wonderful Life is still, in my mind, an unmatched farming experience. I say that as not playing a lot of other Story of Seasons games, but you know what? It doesn't matter because we're getting the remake in a few months.
It's all you, man.
Oh man, I can't wait.
It's one of those like, I don't know, it looked exactly the same, and I'm hitting a point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to just rehash the same. It's like I want to experience new things. I don't want to continue to play like the same thing over and over again. So, which is sad because a year ago I was the opposite. I was like, I'm going to play Skyrim for the 40 billionth time. But I know. Yeah.
I get it. I wish I was more like that, but here I am. I just spent the whole week playing Let's Build a Zoo again, just building my fourth zoo.
No worries. Other GameCube game, Wind Waker.
Oh, that's
Such a
that is
great
actually my
game.
number one with a bullet favorite game of all time.
Yeah, and I know you've talked about it. So and I was
Because
just
it's the
looking
best.
up GameCube games, and that came up.
Oh.
Um,
All right, next question from our dear friend Dalen. Slack, I believe.
mhm.
What is a game you would like to get a sequel? Farming game not necessary. Cody, you have your answers. Go with yours while I think about mine for a second.
Well, also you got excited about one of mine. So one of mine is Hollow Knight. I think that Hollow Knight would be great to have a sequel, and there is a sequel coming.
Is it? Is it? That's
It is. I mean,
is it?
there's like video, like trailers and stuff for it. So it's definitely coming. It's called Silk
No,
Song.
Team Cherry's working on it. The real question is, will it be one sequel or will they come out with two because they worked on it so much and did so much they had to make two games?
It'll probably be one, and then it'll just have
I don't know. These guys are kind of lunatics.
yeah, it's true. You
Oops, we
right.
did
You
too.
right. Or like a DLC, like part of it could be like a DLC. So there's that. I was trying to think back to like games that I like that don't have sequels. So the thing about like games nowadays is they just do DLC, they don't do a sequel. So I had to dip back pretty far to think of games that I would like to have a sequel. And so the two that I came up with, one is Okami, which if people don't know, it was a game, I think it was on the Wii, or might have been on the GameCube. Maybe I had the GameCube.
It was originally
version.
the Wii because they had the motion control for the brush, and then it got released on
Yeah.
PS2 and everything.
I think I played it on the PlayStation actually. But yeah, so you are a wolf, Amaterasu, I think was the name, and you are helping a god clear the world of like pestilence or something. But like
You are the goddess. You're the Japanese.
well, yeah, you are, but like there's someone else like helping you as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're like a wolf god and you run around, or a fox god. I don't know. And this came out around the same time as Twilight Princess, Zelda Twilight Princess, and so everyone was like, "There's so many wolf games coming out right now." But Okami was so pretty. It was like this Japanese brush, like calligraphy style game.
Cell shaded Wind Waker, but with a Japanese
Yep.
waters.
And you like how you defeated things was by drawing on the screen, like with either your Wii controller or you like hit a certain button on the PlayStation controller and then like moved the cursor around. And by doing a certain pattern, you did a certain move. And you're just trying to, clear the world of evil. And like throughout the game, if you clear an area, then a bunch of animals start coming back. So like, little foxes and little bunnies and stuff like come back to the area once you've cleared it.
Yep.
And you can like pet them or lick them or pick them up. It was just so cute. It was a really wholesome game.
I played it for just a brief minute, but I'm very fond of Okami as well. I have it on my Switch. One day I'll get to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be cool to have a version of it on the Switch, but like a newer game because it was like early 2000s for sure. So
Okay, but what if I told you there is a?
what? Are you serious?
It's called Okami Dead. You play as the offspring of Amaterasu, called Chibi-Teras, and it was released on the PlayStation 2 originally. Got a DS port. Yeah, it totally
But
exists. It's called
I googled
Okami Dead.
an article in 2021 said that Hideki Kamiya, who is the developer or creator of the game, says that he wants to make an Okami sequel someday. Like they made it. Like I wonder if what you're talking about isn't a sequel.
Oh, it's a spiritual successor, but it's very I don't.
Technically had a sequel on the 3DS called Okami Den, but it takes place further in the future. It doesn't have Kamiya involved. Oh, it doesn't include the original dude.
No, it doesn't.
So
But
I want a true sequel.
Okay.
The other game, which I am gonna hastily Google if it has a sequel before I say anything.
No, okay. I can tell you that's a David Cage game, and there are games in that fashion. None of them quite hit the same notes. But go ahead, say the name because I'm already talking.
Yeah, I don't know if you've played this game.
I don't, but I know way more than I should about it.
Heavy Rain. So in Heavy Rain, you play a gentleman who is trying to. Well, you actually play three different characters. You play a guy whose son has been kidnapped by someone. Jason. A guy whose son was kidnapped by a serial killer known as the Origami Killer. And then you play a woman who's trying to solve the mystery, and then one of the actual like detectives who's trying to solve the mystery, I think, are the three
Yeah, the one's
characters.
like a journalist.
Yeah, she's a journalist. And so basically the origami killer like kidnaps people and sounds really bad. Kidnaps children, sorry. And then leaves little origami creatures. And he only does this when there's a heavy rainstorm and the children are always found basically drowned. And so, you know, the guy, the main guy, I don't remember his name, but the guy whose son is taken, he just like gets a little origami creature. And like, so he is trying to, and the person is playing the game with him. He's like, do you want your son? Like, you have to do what I tell you to. And like, blah, 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 blah. Like, and in one part in the game, and I guess like the biggest part of this game is that it was a PlayStation 3 game, I think. And it was when the controller started having like controller motion as part of it. Like you had to not only hold your controller, but like throw your controller to the right and throw your controller to the left and then like mash X and then mash Y and like do that kind of stuff. And it was almost like a movie that you were watching.
Yep, very
cinematic game. Like there's a scene where you're playing one of the characters and they're getting attacked and you only have like a split second to hit the right button. And if you hit the button, then you successfully defend yourself and like block with the attack. But if you don't hit the button in the correct way, you get attacked, and you get injured from that. And then like that, it has such great replayability because of like the almost like choose your own adventures part of it.
Yep.
And like there's a part, I will say it's a horror game, so it is not in the genre of people that listen here, because like there's a part of it where you are the father and you get to the room that they want you to get to or whatever. And they're like, hey, thanks for, like, he just hears a voice like out of nowhere, out of like a speaker. And it's like, thanks for getting here. You have 5 minutes to cut your pinky off.
Yep.
Period. Yep. And then you just have to like go through the room, like, and it kind
Saw
of
light.
Yeah, like yeah, it is like Saw light. You have to like investigate, like find something to do. And there's a bunch of different ways to do it. And each of those ways impacts your game going forward. Like if you don't cauterize the wound, then you're gonna have a bad time. And then there's like multiple things that you can use to do it. But if you don't do it, then your son 100% dies. So, and you have to like restart that scene. So it was just sorry, I will stop. But it was very unique, and it was the first game that I'd ever played that was like that. And
yes. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say, so there isn't a direct sequel.
Okay.
But the studio called Quantic Dream that made that game has a handful of other titles that are very similar. The ones that followed, Heavy Rain, you might enjoy because it's similar stuff. It's almost, I don't want to say formulaic, but you can definitely see a lot of themes and tropes and gimmicks repeated, especially the choose your own adventure, multiple protagonists. There's there's Beyond Two Souls, which came out in 2013, and Detroit Become, again, not direct sequels by any means, but very much in the same wheelhouse.
Oh, I just realized. So I played Heavy Rain on the PlayStation, but it is actually on Steam. I didn't know that. And you can get Detroit Become Human and Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain in a bundle.
The Sadness Trilogy. Some people have lovingly referred it to. Lovingly being quotes.
Yeah.
They are for better or worse memorable games, no doubt.
They're considered psychological action thrillers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, well there you go. Okay, so now to answer the question.
Yeah, what's your...
I had to think about this, because there's so many games I like and they have sequels or whatever. But anyways, I went back to the GameCube because so many of my fondest gaming memories come from there, and there are some that I could use some more. The first one is, oh boy, this is a blast from the past. Have you heard of Billy Hatcher?
I have not.
Oh gosh. So it was a 3D platformer on the GameCube. It was made by Sonic Team, so the actual Sonic people, not just Sega. And you played as a kid in a chicken suit, and you rolled around an egg, and you would make your egg grow and reach the end of the level by rolling around on your egg, flying with it, and doing all sorts of things. Very fun, cartoony, magical era game from the GameCube. It's never got a sequel, never barely gets any recognition from Sonic Team or Sega, and I wish it had fond memories with that one.
It
Let's
has a
see.
lot of 7, like the ratings are like
Yeah.
7s.
Yeah, like it would be a sequel for me.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Now, there is a game that did get a sequel or two, but I don't think not even all of them hit the States, but I'd like to see it again. It's called Custom Robo. It's an arena fighter with robots that you customize, as the name implies.
Hmm.
And so, again, another GameCube game. I got a DS sequel, I know that, but I don't think it got a full proper sequel, at least not out here in the States. And I'd like to see it. A fun robot, pretty much what you get, which is enjoyed that immensely. And then there will be one farming game I will give a mention to sequel. I want Sakuna Rice and Ruin to get a sequel. It was just a fantastic game with fantastic characters, and I just want have a whole no characters. Want Sakuna back up. Well, there you go. So yeah, those are the ones just off the top of my head. I'm sure I could.
Cool.
Okay, next question from Jordan, on a different Slack, but we reached out to other people just to get questions going. Jordan asks, how loose of a definition is a farming game for you? Cody, go ahead.
Yeah, so to me, for something to classify as a farming game, it has to have farming as like the principle, like the main thing that you do in the game, like, or one of the main things. So like it can't just be a game that has farming in it. And I know we've definitely done that on the podcast before, which is why we like switched to cottagecore instead of farming game. Because I don't think some of the games that we like to do don't really fit the description. And like one example here that I have is World of Warcraft. So World of Warcraft, love that game, played it many years in my life. Many hours go into that game for me. And there was farming in the Mists of Pandaria expansion that I played. So, and that was pretty decent farming. Like you had to go back to the same area like 21 days in a row or something like that for one of your things to grow and like water them. But just because it had that farming aspect in it in that expansion, I wouldn't call it a farming game. For something to be a farming game, like farming has to be something, at least something you spend, I would say, like at least 30 or 40% of your time doing.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel like, I mean, yeah, so that's definitely part of it, right? Because Spiritfarer is another good example. There's farming in that game, but it's not a farming game per se.
Yeah.
So I think another easy check mark. Do you run/own the farm? I think that's a pretty easy one.
Okay, yeah.
If you do, you're gonna be busy with it, right? Like, 'cause that's a lot on your plate. So I think that's a pretty easy rule of thumb. Do you own the farm or run?
Are you the farm manager?
But yeah. And so that pretty much ties into what you said, the amount of time, right? Because lots of games have farming, but it's not the focus, or it's a little side mini thing. But if you run
yeah, so last question here is from Name. Not only friend of the pod, but also co-host.
Yeah, guest, former friend of the show who's been on here.
Yep. So would you rather do dailies or organize your inventory?
You go ahead. You say your answer because I think mine is a little more in-depth.
So my answer is yes. Because I like both of these. I genuinely like doing both of these things. I guess with the inventory, it depends how I'm doing it. So, or like what the console is. If I'm doing it on like with a controller, it's kind of annoying to do that. And like if the inventory management system of the game sucks, then I'm not going to have a good time. But if it's mouse and keyboard, I'm fine. Like that allows me to have enough dexterity to be able to like kind of enjoy it. But I do, in most games, I like my inventory to be a certain way. Like I like, key items that I might use multiple times are going to be in one area, and then I'll like put other things in another area. And like items that I'm going to get rid of are going to be in another part of my inventory. So I do really like doing that. And I just love dailies. Again, going back to World of Warcraft, I had multiple areas that I would go to and do dailies to try and get certain like old games, like old expansions. So even if when I was playing like Mists of Pandaria, I went back to some of the Wrath of the Lich King areas, like the Argent tournament grounds, because I wanted the pets and the mounts that you could get, and you had to do the like jousting and the different things like that to get the currency to get the mount. And so I think I guess dailies also depend. Dailies, if they punish you for missing a day, that's upsetting. So like right now I'm trying to learn Spanish on Duolingo, and if I lose like a streak, which I have ADHD, I'm really busy right now, and so like
it's the worst.
But they give you a couple streak freezes and stuff, but like I had almost like a 400-day streak, and then I had some days that were really bad, like just mental health bad, and I lost it.
Oh, I feel that agony. So, oh my God.
And so that, like, those kinds of dailies, like when it's a daily that's going to like punish you for missing it, not great. But if it's something that just, you can just go and do at your leisure, like I do enjoy doing those, and I enjoy having the repetition, but the familiarity, like, oh, I'm doing this. I do this every day. It's kind of like a blanket, like a comfy thing. So, what about you?
Okay, so
dailies or inventory?
First of all, would I rather do them? Yes, depends on the game, right? Because there's right, because this varies. Well, first of all, I'll say I pretty much always enjoy organizing my inventory in any game I can. There's something very cathartic about it, just organize. And I don't play Steam games that much, so like I'm mostly on control, and also go through if it's a pain at times. Just because I find organizing some things in a way that I like, or just seeing all the chaos get into nice, neat little ordered lists or boxes or whatever. I find it very cathartic. Now, but the real question is the dailies, right? So dailies, I feel. So here's the question I ask myself: am I playing the game to do dailies, or am I doing dailies because I'm playing the game? So I have two different. There's because so many games like the Duolingo thing, for instance, right? They pressure you, they punish you if you don't do it right, or that's how they're guiding you, right? I feel like Animal Crossing New Horizons, like ultimately that game ended up being a game of dailies for me, and I wasn't even necessarily enjoying it at some points. But I was still doing it just to do the dailies. But now I can give the other example of Pokemon Unite. I actually have played that game almost every single day since its release. And there are dailies and checklists and objectives or whatever, but I'm not playing it to do those. Like, I get them done because I'm playing the game. I'm playing the game every day because I enjoy sitting down with my brother, and we enjoy playing 3 games a day. So, and it's cool to get the dailies done and check, and yeah, I'm getting rewarded because I'm playing every day. But it's not killing me that I'm being pressured to do it or whatever, right? So yeah, it really depends on the game, because some games like Pokemon Unite, I'd rather do the dailies because that just means I'm playing the game and I enjoy the game a lot. Other games like Animal Crossing is a good example, right? Like, well, or older Animal Crossings, I really enjoyed organizing my inventory in those games, but the dailies, I'd enjoy it more than the dailies at times. All right. But yes, thank you, Name, for the question. And that is the end of our questions, the end of this mailbag episode.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, all your listeners and people sending us questions. Please send in more. That was some good discussions. Send us some good stuff. Send us some nonsense, some stuff that'll just make us cringe or laugh, or make you guys laugh at us being cringy.
And it's also
that's the ideal thing.
Questions that are going to make us get into arguments with each other and have long rivalries.
Yes, or make us tell embarrassing stories. Those are good ones.
Okay.
Story-driven ones. Those are good ones. Cody, where can people find you on the interwebs?
People can find me on Twitter at Cody Mathis, which is my name, and on Instagram at Hiking Beagle, Beee Beagle. What about you, Kev? Where can people find you? You
can find me at Cooper Prez on Twitter, at Sprider Squared on Twitter if you want to see my art, which I haven't done recently. I won't lie, but I'm thinking about it a lot. It's in my head. I'm getting the itch. If you're on Twitter at that point, you might as well find at THS Pod, where you can follow this show. All the tweets and things from that Al retweets about the show, about news items related to the show. You can also go to our website, harvestseason.club, where you can, listen to the show. You can provide feedback with questions like this. You can see links in the show notes to all the things we talked about in the news, at least on this episode. And you can also go to patreon.com/thspod, where you can give Al money, and then you can get rewarded with access to our Slack, which is a lovely little community. A lovely little community that provided us with so many of these delightful questions. And you can also get access to our Patreon exclusive side podcast, The Greenhouse. Surprise, surprise. Cody and I actually recorded one. It will get released at some point in the future. It's about other games, not here. It's about the Nintendo Indie Direct. So there's actually a whole lot of games and all sorts of fun things that we talk about there. Some I didn't expect, but you can listen to it and find out about that. And I think that is an episode. Thank you very much, Cody, for being on. Thank you, Al, for inviting us on.
Yeah.
And until next time, dear listeners,
have a good harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin and Stuart. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
All right, who'd you marry in the Stardew? Tell me, who's the bum? Who's the bum? Sebastian. Yep. Look, I won't lie. Looking at this list, most of the guys look like bums anyway.
You're not wrong.
I forgot Elliot was a character.
Yeah,
I married Leah, and you know what? I was happy with that.
Yeah, she's who I'm going for now. Like in my most recent thing, I just went for him because he's an emo boy. I love me an emo boy.
Well, there you go,
my
folks.
Gosh. I just read something, a trivia in Sebastian. If you're married to Abigail and lose hearts, she will say, I wonder if I could have done better. I was very good friends with Sebastian before we met. He was probably the one.
Ooh, that's right.
But he said another part of trivia for Sebastian is despite heavy hints that Sebastian has a crush on Abigail, his dialogue implies that he rarely wants to spend time with his friends.
Oh.
So, and when he marries you, he doesn't really want to spend time with you either because he is a bum.